Welcome to MTGG Guides. I got a pretty super cheap here budget deck for you. I'm going to show you this on Arena, but as far as in-person gameplay, this is going to be less than $3 even total to build this. So it's all based around Death Touch, and it's just got a lot of cheap, just common, uncommon, a couple rares in there, but super cheap rares. So first part, this is going to entail, you're going to end up having here about 20 different creatures that I added, and then some other cards to support it. Now the first one I just got here, you can actually put anything here. There are a ton of 1-drop, 1/1 death touches out there. If you got Fulmar Knight, go ahead and add him. Seems like he's the best because he's got that option to draw a card built in to cast him for 3 as an instant and draw a card. You lose a life, but that'll mean nothing. That draw card can help in, but otherwise you can just put any actual 1/1 or any 1-drop in there that has Death Touch on it that's black. So you're gonna want 4 black and then 4 green 1-drop Death Touches. So I got here Moss Viper. Like I said, there's a lot of 1-drop 1/1 Death Touches in green. There's a Elf. There's the Sedge Scorpion if you're playing a tabletop. Just include anything you got. Obviously the cheapest card to get is the card you already have. So these are just, well, he's an uncommon, just generic ones. He'd probably be the best out of all that I looked. I mean, you can just add the 1/1, but if you definitely got him, try to get as many of those in there for that extra draw power. Next, I got a new card here, just generic protection, Snakeveil Skin. So as far as cost-wise, Fulmar Knight's about 7 cents there. So you're looking at about a quarter to add him. This is about 3 cents, and I'm being pretty nice. Then we got Snakeskin Veil once again. Going up here, about 4 cents per card. Got 4 of those, just to adds a 1/1 counter, gives your guy some pax proof until end of turn. Kind of protects some stuff. Or they're just going to be protecting Finn. He's the key to most of this. So you can win without him though. And then the next on is this. Secondly, just add any type of a, a little bit more powerful Death Touch in there. Something that's like got anything like at least 2 for toughness. I mean, the Death Touch doesn't matter how high their power is. If you just get 1, it just takes 1 to kill another creature. So you just want something that's more than a 1 toughness, just to give you a little bit of more stability. So I got Fetid Imp in here. He's also got flying. He doesn't actually have Death Touch. You have to use 1 black mana to give him Death Touch. But I went ahead and I included this here, this new Rune card. This gives any creatures Death Touch. Now it seems kind of redundant to have it in here, but I got a couple. I put 2 of the creatures in here that don't have Death Touch, and you can end up using it. So if not, you can always just cast this to draw a card, because whenever you cast this, you get another card draw. And I would say if you are casting this just to get the card draw, and instead of putting on one of your creatures that have Death Touch already, put it on a land, because an opponent could kill your creature, and then you don't get the card draw that you're looking for. So this one, even though it's brand new, and it's an uncommon, we're looking at right now about 5 cents for the most generic. And then I forgot to Fetid Imp's about 2 cents. He's about as generic as a common as you can get. So once again, super cheap. Super cheap build. Now here is the king of the deck. Surprisingly, he's only about 12 cents going right now. For the most, actually, I think the alternate is the cheaper one. If you get this one here is probably 25 cents, but the alternate, which should be more, is about half the price right now for some reason. I don't know why, but I would put at least 4. I'll try for 4 of him. I did play quite a few games with 3 because I didn't have a 4th one, and I wasn't gonna waste an uncommon wild card on it, and I ended up just pulling one out of a pack because I mean it's fresh, and obviously I'm cheap, so spending an uncommon wild card just to get the 4th one, I didn't feel it was worth it. But if you have 4, I would definitely put 4 in here, because he's going to be your target. People are going to be trying to get rid of him immediately. And also, I'll show you a little clip here of Gohan Finn. But basically, a lot of times you drop him, and then they just scoop. It's like, I'm not playing this, and it's game over. game over. You get your win right there, good to go. And next we got Rabid Bite. Now this is just simply removal. All of your creatures are pretty much gonna have Death Touch, so all it needs is just one. They have to deal 1 damage to them with Death Touch and they die. One option is you could use Ram Through, which I did put Ram Through in the sideboard. If you have Ram Through, that's fine. The only difference is basically Rabid Dutch is like your most common. This is literally a penny on there. They don't even they don't give them an extra market value of 2 cents. It's like the most bulky bulk out there. You probably have 4 in your deck, but if you have Ram Through, it is better, and I'll show you why. As we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna include a little bit of Trample, which you would be like, these guys are all like 1 power. That's stupid to have the Trample in there. But once again, these ruins, you play them and you immediately get a card draw. You get your card back, and so you're not down a card. It's like playing a free, and you're gonna end up with a lot of extra mana with this. In fact, you'll see in the gameplay I stuck an Ugin in, and I actually ended up casting him a couple times. Now I wouldn't put him in the real deck if you're playing in real life, because that's about $22, and you're gonna quintuple the price of this whole deck. I mean, he's like more than 7 times more valuable than the whole deck put together, whatever Latin word for that is. So I would not use it in real life. But if you got an extra one, throw them on in here. So what you do is you add Ruin on to whatever you want, and I'll show you some gameplay. I'm gonna do the gameplay separate in a different video, but I'll add the one where I win because I have Trample on here, and they go to block it. They go to just block it with like a 5 something, 5/4, 4/4 or something, thinking they're good to go. But you forget, Death Touch only takes 1 to kill. So even though the creature I put it on was a 2 power, it did 1 damage to that, killed that, and trampled the one over. Finn gave him the extra final poison token to get to 10 total poisons, and that's it. Game over. And then I didn't read this over, but yeah, that's the reason we're using Finn here. Whenever your creature you control with Death Touch deals combat to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. You get to 10 poison counters, that person loses the game. Doesn't matter what the health is. They could be playing lifelink and get up to 200 health. Goodbye. Game over. Now the next thing with here is I would play with at least a combination of 6 Finn, Fangbearer, and at least whatever the 2 add up. Now I do have 3 of him, so a total of 7 right now, but I'll go with at least 6 of those 2 combined, because they're going to get rid of them. This is a way to bring it back. Not only with this call, Death Dweller, you can bring it back, but you can generally bring back another creature, because Finn's only 2, and this lets you bring back up to 2 worth a total of 3. So if you have one of these sitting in there, you can bring one of those back with him, and then that's just more the merrier. Now, Call of the Death Dweller is probably going to be your most expensive card in this initial bid. You're looking at 35 to 50 cents. I saw a few pages where you get them for about 35 cents. But 50 cents or so might be, that's all right. But he's definitely your most expensive card. I would keep him in here. Definitely. I mean, you're looking at $3 total, and he's going to be about $1 of your $1.50 maybe. Half of your value, but definitely worth it. Lets you bring back stuff, lets you put back death counters onto things, and menace counters. So menace means you got to block more, and death counter, obviously, you go ahead and bring your fetid imp back, put your death touch counter on him because he doesn't have it. Then you don't have to keep paying that money. Lastly, put on a couple, just 2. I don't think you need more than 2. Demonic Embrace. If they mill you, this card ends up in the graveyard, and you can just play it back. So you may cast Demonic Embrace from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost. And that's just going to give you flying. The power really don't matter. The +1 on the defense is kind of what gets you there. Now the +3 will end up, like if I end up beating some people just by actually getting them their whole 20 points down and not poison countering them to death. So it will add up, but it's not really the big part of it. It's the flying is the big part that gets you here. And then you just fly over stuff and you hit them for a poison counter. Now another card I put in here that is not Death Touch, it doesn't probably fit in here, it looks like, is Llanowar Visionary. A couple things. He's going to give you mana. He's a mana dork. He's going to give you extra mana for you. Like I said there a couple times, I did cast Ugin. You end up having some stuff. Death Touch slows the game down. People don't want to attack you. You end up going a little bit longer with cards that got people have creatures and stuff. So it definitely is getting that ramp in there can help you out. The other thing is Llanowar Vision, just like all the ruins, replaces himself. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. So it's like a free play if you got all that extra mana. Just play him, play them, get your stuff that you need, draw yourself a Finn, draw whatever you want there, get that going, keep it going. And like I said, I added that Rune of Morality. He can get deathtouch. You can go ahead and he can come back, call the Deathbringer. Will bring him back, and you can put a deathtouch and a menace on him. So it's not like this guy. I play a lot of times. Half the time, I play this guy's got deathtouch. Pretty easy to get him on there with this setup. And then I just broke up the lands, total of 23, 10, 10, swamp and forest. And then I put 3 of these in here, Jungle Hollow. This is just to keep it cheap. These don't cost nothing. If you have any type of better land, they do have the flip lands, which is about $4. I would recommend 25-cent Temple of Melady. Put that in there instead. That scry helps out more than the flip land coming in and immediately being able to get played. I did play with it. I got it. So it's definitely, if you got it, throw it in there. Especially on Arena. If you got them at home, like I said, go spend a penny to buy this when you had that already in there. You throw it in there. But in total, this combination we got going on here is less than $3 right now. So it's fun. And this isn't like super overpowering. It's kind of like almost a challenge. You play if you want to play with your friends and tabletop, whatnot, where it's going to cost you that $3 to play. They have the ability. It's kind of like a challenge. Hey, figure out a way to beat me with this, and you're gonna win. You're probably gonna win a lot of times. It's gonna be like a fun thing. Now, if you do want to go ahead and I did throw some stuff in my side deck. If you want to add some extra stuff, I can certainly do that. Show you how to get that done. Just give me 1 second. I will load that up. All right, I got the sideboard loaded up here. Just some cards that I was using with it throughout. I did start out with this in my deck initially, Ractiform. It's give it +2/+2. Creature gets reach. It just makes your creatures, your 1/1s, your 1/2s, a little bit more meatier, a little bit more harder to deal with and get rid of. Uh, yeah, if you got it, it's uncommon. This ain't worth nothing. Almost add it in there if you don't have the other ones, the runes, or if you don't have the demonic embrace. Good substitute for any of those. Here's the ram through I was talking about. You know, rabid bite. Put this in there. Now, if you're got that rune with the now don't put this in there unless you're actually using the trample for the rune like I have there. Otherwise, there's no point. If you don't have any creatures to trample, this is only a rabid bite. It doesn't have any other use to it at all. But otherwise, it's the exact same card. It just does a little bit more damage if you have trample, because then you can send that excess through it. Like once again, Death Touch only takes 1 to kill a creature. You kill that creature with 1. If your guy's at least power 2, he's gonna put another damage through, and it will activate Finn's ability and give them 2 poison counters. So 1/5 of a way closer to getting that game sealed. Another card here that's almost built for it. I would definitely, if you, this is only like $1.50 around there, or more, actually no, sorry, like $1.50 to $2 per one of these cards. And then you've had, it's a mythic. It's out there. It fits right in. Right about, it's an opposite. I would only put 2 in though. Like if you're gonna go ahead with a Finn, I would only put 2 of these in there at most. Just a thing that kind of different shakes shit up. If you Finn don't get working and going, this guy comes out. It's another, instead of 4 chances at Finn, you got 6 chances at this guy and Finn. It just once again it just shakes things up. It makes things different, more interesting. Now it doesn't really make your deck super more powerful. So and then adding 2 of these is going to double the price of the whole deck. So if you got them, I would add them. If you don't, you don't have to. I only have 2 here total unlocked in Arena. I'm not unlocking more, not adding them. Another one you can definitely add in here is Hooded Blightfang. I will go ahead and take out Fetid Imp and then have any combination of Hooded Blightfang and Fetid Imp, or you're above 1/1. You're more than 1 toughness, death touch that you have in black. Like I said, you want 4. Generally, what you want is like 4 green, 4 black of the 1-drops, and then 4 green, which is going to be Finn, and then 4. This will be, just substitute in whatever you have. If you have extra, take out a Fetid Imp, put 1 of him in if you got him in there. Otherwise, great card. Definitely going to speed things up. Has an alternate win con than Finn, because every time every creature attacks with that touch, they lose a life and you gain a life. So this is going to also get targeted as well. I only have one on Arena. It's not worth me. I'm cheap. I'm not gonna spend my wild cards to unlock this to add it. But definitely, threw him in there. He almost never showed up, so I really didn't get to experience the amazingness. But they do stack because he's not a legendary creature, so you can get 2 or 3 out these in there, and then boom, boom, boom. Like it really goes quick. I've played against people who just built around this deck, and you get a couple of those out there, and you get them swinging in. Pretty awesome card to add and include. And then this is only like 25 cents if you want to get it, so it's not too bad of an upgrade. Add 4 of them for $1. Here's the deck I did have. I'll just add these. I just added these to the top of it. Um, it's a 4. It's a 2/3 death touch, and then when it deals damage, you get to draw a card, so it adds your draw card. But if your opponent has a green permanent, it only costs 2. Now, for some reason, on Arena, when people play a forest, this does not drop down to 2. And I thought of forest. That's why all the cards say non-land permanent, because it wouldn't a green forest be a permanent, or a forest be a green permanent. But for some reason, the lands don't make this trigger. But anybody plays it, it's like, man, ooh, 2/3 death touch, help me draw cards. People avoid hitting it because they don't want the creature to die. Let it swing through if Finn's not out there. Now if Finn's out there, they're blocking everything. But it helps you draw to get Finn, pull him out, put him in, or get to Hooded Blightfang or a Chevelle if you're using them, whatever. One card I put in here on the sideboard actually I'm recommending not using with this is Blinding of the Old Gods. You throw it out there for 4, destroy target permanent or opponent controls. Way too expensive. If that's all you're getting, and that's really all you're getting out of this. Search your library for a force card, and then creatures you control gain Death Touch until the end of turn. They all already have Death Touch. So other than destroying something, you're really not, and you're gonna have the mana. I already got built in the mana with Land of War and everything in there. You don't, and it's all low stuff. You don't need that forest search. It's just that's not a thing you need. So it's all it is a destroy target for permanent for 4. So this looks like something as an auto include. Actually, it doesn't work. It's more of the same without any additions. Double death touch isn't any different than single death touch. And then obviously Ugin. I wouldn't. I already talked about him. I would not add him, but I threw him in there. If you got him unlocked on Arena and it doesn't cost anything, dump one in there. Just make it a 61 card deck. It's just fun. Just all of a sudden, it's like kind of you reach a stalemate, and all of a sudden Ugin comes out, and it's like and they just quit. Like, well, I was so close to overcoming all this death touch. Oh, Ugin is like, now it's an Ugin game, and all of a sudden they're just like, they're probably cursing you out, saying you shouldn't have that card in that deck, you dumb son of a. But I don't know. It's something you end up getting. You have the ability to cast him at some point in some games, so it's something different, a variety to throw in there. Definitely would not include it in a normal sit-down tabletop deck. And then obviously I got here the lands that if you got them, throw them in there. This is like $4 for this flip land right here. Not really worth it, honestly. I wouldn't put it in here. I would rather put this in. If you got a couple of these, all you need are 2 or 3. Really, that scry helps you because you got 20 creatures and then you got like 16, 17 components that help assist those creatures. It's like you kind of got 2 paths. You just get over flooded towards one path and the other. This helps you get back on track. This is much more valuable actually being in your card. It's much more valuable card in your deck than having this flip land. That just and a lot of times I get this and I don't even need it. I let it sit there and I play a black land, and then I get a green forest and I play it, and then it's like what do I even need it for? What am I picking? It's either any, mini, money, mo. I'm guessing which land I'm picking and flipping one, or it's like I have it like my 5th round. It's like, well, okay, now I have 3 green and 1 black, so I guess I will now play this as a black land. So I have 2 black and 3 green. A little bit of balance. A lot of times it just doesn't come in and help you when you really need it. So, I mean, $16, put a play set of these in there for a $3 deck. I don't think it's worth it. But if you want to wrap this up, add all these in there, make it like a $40 deck. Could be a little bit more powerful. I'm sure there's a lot more crazy things that could go along. And the other thing is tabletop. Just grab any type of generic card that has infect and throw those in there, and those will help out. Because infect deals the damage. Whatever, it's a 4-power infect. That's 4 poison counters. That's 2/5 of what you need to win the game. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna include a little bit of gameplay for where I actually won with the trample. If you want to watch that, otherwise I'm gonna make a gameplay video separately after that. But stay along and watch that. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
Alright, here's the video where I went ahead and I used trample to win the game. Oh, there's Ugin. I told you I used Ugin. I don't think I cast him in this game at all, I'm pretty sure, but I'll go ahead and see here. So I go ahead and there's the Rabid Bite. Getting rid of things that are in my way. I actually didn't know that Scythe added soul counters and then it got bigger. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. It must be that other... the one with the skull, there's the blade through it, which I thought that was. This is different. So as you see here, I got them up to 6 poison counters. So I know only at this point, I only need to hit through with each of my guys, and I'm gonna win. And if you look and see, I have 2 trampled runes sitting in there. I don't know what they're really called. And then all I need to do is hit a land. If I hit a land, I can play both of those trample runes and cast, go right through this 5/5. Oh, and then I get my land. So this person is going to go ahead. I know they're going to block, thinking, okay, I killed his Finn. I'm good to go. I lost my guy, but I can keep playing. So there you go. Drew another one. Put on there. These draws don't even matter. So really at this point there's nothing they can do. So look, I got a 2/2 and a 2/4. Sending them both through. Your common instinct is just to think it's not going to change that at all. It's going to go through as I'm pantomiming, because I know I'm going to voice over this later. I'm trying to pantomime what's about to happen, because I know what's about to happen. Boom, boom, Finn goes through. Now Finn dies, but he registers his stuff. Bing, bong, game over. And they're probably like, what the? They're probably spending like 5 minutes trying to think of what the hell just happened to them. But yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.